Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty keg of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace on a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Yeah, let's get to the motherfucking monies. Welcome to the Balking Dead Season 2, where there is no sleep for the wicked. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and it's Tuesday, and that means we bring in the only person in the world I speak Strikeout props with, and that's my guy, Spin Doctor. How you doing on this fabulous Tuesday full of aces?
I am doing fantastic. I've had, 4 winning days in a row, so let's make it 5. Let's go. Let's make the money.
Man, I'm on a 4-0 streak right now, so I don't want to lose. Like, fuck bitches, make money, and there's no females here, fellas, so let's get to it. This show is sponsored by PrizePicks, so if you haven't, go over to PrizePicks, use promo code PubSports on your first deposit, and they will match you up to 100, minimum of 25. On top of that, if you screenshot that you used our promo code PubSports and you screenshot a successful deposit, I will DM you my plays for 2 weeks. On this show, I break down 6 pitchers a day and all types of pitching props, but y'all know we specialize in strikeout props. If you know who I am, you know I set up rules on rules. I don't bet just to bet, and we're super close to getting to the numbers, April 13th to be exact. So I need to start getting ready, guys. It's that time to be getting ready for what the Black Book does. So the first 2 weeks are for guys I have projected to be moved up by the books come May. And I will still give you all the information you need to finalize your own bets or my reasons to stay off. So enough small talk. Let's get to it. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you all for coming. And shout out to the best producer in the world, Big Show Picks. You know the drill. Smash the like button, hit the retweet, and make sure you have those notification bells dinging. On this show, I use FanDuel lines as lines because they tend to come out first. Then I will compare them to PrizePicks lines. We have opening line, which is the night before. If they weren't out for that, we have the morning line, and then closing line is 30 minutes before this show, which is 12:40 or whatever time you want to call it. Yeah, I'm too stoned for that shit right now. So, on to what you are here for, guys. Pitcher number 1, Hugh Darvish. 2022, he had a 25.6 K percentage and a 4.8 walk percentage. To put that in perspective, league average was 22.4 and 8.2. Number 23 in the Black Book. Opening line, he was 6+ at a plus 102. Closing line, 6+ minus 145. Took the juice because of the lineups. PrizePicks has him at a 5.5. Pitching outs on PrizePicks is not available. Has the tag been lifted off this man? To me, no, the tag is not off. He only threw 3 innings for Team Japan and a few innings throughout the spring, so no need to hit his averages because we don't have the tag off. Lineup is 7 lefties, 2 righties. Average strikeouts per last year, 10 per 9 versus lefties, 8 per 9 versus righties, and 8.3 K per 9 at home, and a 9.3 on the road. Batting average against lefties hit 185, righties hit a 233, while at home a $188 and road a 222. Mr. Gargaro, what you looking at in this one?
Man, this is as close as it gets. When I ran, so for those that don't know, I actually run 3 different sets of numbers using different things that I put into my model. For those that know me, I live in spreadsheets, and here are the numbers that I come up with for a 5.5 line. On method 1, 6.45, method 2, 5.52, method 3, 6.19, for a weighted average of 6 on the nuts. This line is set incredibly accurate. I had a person in my VIP ask me why this line bounced around so much, because the over 5.5 was at plus money. I do think it's because of the lineup construction of the D-backs. But, because when you look at it, not only are there 7 lefties, when you look at their lineup on the road, historically on the road against right-handed pitching, you only have 2 guys, that being Carroll and Herrera, who have a strikeout percentage over 24%. Everybody else is under, and actually 5 or 4 guys, that being Rojas, Yuri, McCarthy, and Alec Thomas, I believe, are under 20%. Now, that's just against a random righty, not specifically against you, Darvish. When I look at Darvish, I look at, so last year against these same or similar D-backs, he was 3-2 to this number for 6+ Ks. However, all of those came June or later. So he started 5 times against them, had 6+ Ks 3 times, and it was 3 in a row. So the 2 early season starts didn't go as long, didn't have as many strikeouts. For those of you that know, I study the umpires pretty extensively. Ron Culpa for this game is a pitcher's umpire. Strikeout percentage is 21.3 for his career, which is about a full percentage point above the 20.5 MLB umpire average. That could be significant. However, you have a Diamondbacks team, and this is where I've ultimately decided to pass. So one of the methods that I study is first pitch strike, because pitchers' strikeout percentages rise exponentially if they get strike one versus a 1-0 count. Darvish especially, 39.7% when he gets strike one, 23.2% when he does not. The problem here is that towards the end of last year, and it's a product of their hitting coach, and to start this year, Diamondbacks have been absolutely phenomenal at not getting strike one. They have been very, very good. They are towards the bottom of the pack in taking first pitch strikes, or when you factor in the fact when they put the ball in play, they're one of the better teams in baseball. So this line is like lethally accurate to me. This is one where, especially when you factor in, you talked about his spring stuff, his baseball classic stuff. Man, you could flip a coin. If you gave me a free play, I would probably lean on the over here, but I'm not paying -140 or -130, whatever it happens to be, juice, when there's just so many conflicting factors. I've learned throughout, and this is why I do 3 different models that combine them into one, is that when the shit don't match, when it's like this over, this says under, this says maybe either one, the best thing to do is to just pass, because you are going to be sweating the hell out of it no matter what. And I don't do that.
The only future bet I have this year is on this man to win the National League Cy Young. And I'm actually starting to look over at Woody Woodruff, but that's another day, guys. I thought for 3 days I wanted Darvish versus these D-backs, knowing the D-backs was going to load up lefties, because I seen what they did versus Dustin May. And Darvish happens to own these D-backs lifetime, and he happened to jump his strikeouts up 2 per 9 strikeouts in the second half, which happens to go with what the spin doc was just saying, how he dominated them in the second half, guys. And that goes back to his catcher. He had Heaney as his catcher his whole life. We talked about it last year. He's going to need time with Nola. This guy throws 8 pitches at 9 different arm angles. Like, bro, you're going to have to figure this guy out. And eventually he did. And this guy became dominant the second half of the season. And that's why I actually jumped on him to be the Cy Young, because if he carries that over, this guy's on a freaking tear on a team that they have coming in second in the division. So I definitely love me some Darvish, guys. But at the end of the day, I had to make a little call to my buddy, because I read reports. And I tell you, I read them on the show, and you should go look for reports. Look for guys speaking, guys. And coming out of spring training, out of the words of Hugh Darvish, he doesn't know if he's ready for a full workload. like he said, he's only pitched 3 innings with Japan because they were fighting for a chip, and he didn't have a normal regular spring training. So he said he's concerned, and that makes me concerned, guys. So I call up my buddy, my Noli knows. I call him and be like, hey, you're the Japanese guy, bro. You're the one who's got me betting unders in Japanese baseball. What's up with this? Do I take the first 5? Do I attack it that way? And he goes, Sharpie, man, Japanese players are the most finicky players in the world, man. They need their routine, and you can't fuck with him until he gets his routine back. So that guy's right more often than wrong, that I will put credit to it. I don't care if Darvish goes out there and racks it up today. I'd rather see that than be able to bet him next week knowing that he's back to being Darvish. So until he shows me something else, I don't know if Darvish goes 90 pitches, guys. He should smash this team like a 13-year-old batting a piñata at a 5-year-old birthday party. But should doesn't pay the bills. So let's get into pitcher number 2. Max Scherzer, a.k.a. Mad Max, the most psychotic pitcher in baseball. 2022, he had a 30.6 K percentage and a 4.2 walk percentage. Number 11 in the black book. 8+ at plus 106 last night. This morning, minus 106, and now down to a minus 102. So roughly in the same range. PrizePicks has him at a 7.5 and his hits allowed at a 5. Mad Max is ready to go. 100 pitches in his last spring training start and 91 on opening day. Last 8 strikeouts average is a 6.7 strikeouts per game. His win percentage to the 7.5 last 10 games is at 40%. Projected lineups, 5 lefties, 4 righties. And last year, he struck out lefties, righties, home, road, all the damn same, guys. It wasn't a difference. This guy is one of the guys I consider lineup proof. It's the same no matter which way you look. Batting average against 196, lefties hit while righties hit a 215. Home 200, road 212. This guy is elite. And what you got to say about Mad Max today?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better about his pitch mix, his location, and the thing that I really, really love about Scherzer is that some guys, even aces, when they get down in counts or when they get behind in counts, they'll often look to try to maybe get a strike or 2 there, but then get the ball in play, pitch it to contact. That's not what Max does, man. He will attack hitters, whether it's 0-2, 3-0, 3-1, bases loaded. It doesn't matter. This guy is a freaking competitor. And so I've seen situations where it's like second and third, crunch time situation. He's already in the 90s. And he's just going to rear back and challenge guys. He does not give a fuck. And that's what I love about him. What I see from the Brewers so far this year is that, their strikeout percentage versus right-handed pitchers, albeit in limited action, 24.1%, not terrible. I don't know if they've necessarily faced like the cream of the crop so far for right-handed pitchers, especially with their first series of the year. But I look at Scherzer against his projected lineup, and he's got a 35.1% strikeout percentage against the projected lineup for the Brewers in 94 plate appearances. Normally, that's kind of where my delineation point is for when I say, okay, this is a viable, useful metrics. Because sometimes you see stuff and it's like, well, this guy's got a 50% strikeout rate. Yeah, because he's only faced him 10 fucking times. So that doesn't tell me much. When you start to get into almost 3 full games of pitching, that tells me something. And the numbers here say that Max can just K the shit out of these guys. I also look at here too, Scherzer for his career, 66.9% first strike percentage, which is absolutely incredible for starters. It's one of the best on the board today. And the reason why that's important to me is because, again, limited action, but so far this season, and this dates back to the end of last year too, when these Brewers get down 0-1 in the count, so far this year, they're striking out at almost over 45% clip. Last year, it was close to 36. So, if Scherzer can get anywhere close to strike one on a number of these hitters, you could be looking at like 9 to 10 Ks very, very easily.
Man, I like it, bro. Hey, just to let you guys know, I do talk to Chris every morning about K-props. Today and the day that we have shows, we say, hey, we'll talk after. That way we get good content. So I don't fucking know what he's going to say. I don't know if he's going to go under, over, or what. But We called Mad Max last week spot on, guys. Those pesky Marlinos, man. But Scherzer still did what he had to do to cash. And now he gets the Brew Crew where the books jumped to strikeout prop up 2 strikeouts from where it was last week. What do they know? Well, let's talk about my bet today, guys. I'm on Max Scherzer, 7.5 at -106. Now, I'll tell you guys the pitcher's strikeout and walk percentage at the beginning of each breakdown. It's not just for shits and giggles. I'll tell you that, and then I run the projected lineup through Fangraphs. We have 5 batters with a 24% K percentage or worse, with 3 in a 27% and 1 over there at 42%. And yeah, a lot of their walk percentage was high, but that's where we get into Max, where he only walked 4.2% of the people last year, 4 points better than league average. So let's talk the rest of the lineup. The one guy who doesn't strike out to righties in this lineup is Jesse Winker, who happens to have a 25% K rake and 12 K percentage and 12 at bats versus Max Scherzer. So shit, I'll take a 1 from the guy who doesn't punch out. Please and thank you. So combined projected lineup has a whopping 37% strikeout rate. If the King of Kings drops down to a smooth 33% if they do decide to put Caratini in the lineup, and I do expect them actually to put Caratini in this lineup for Contreras, they'd be smart. I mean, the dude has good numbers versus him. So we didn't mention last year Max faced the Brewers one time, and he just had a perfect game versus them bastards through 6 innings while punching out 9 Brewers. Oh, great game, right? No. It's actually better than that. That's why we keep track. That's why we have a book, guys, and we put notes down. Mad Max did that on 69 pitches coming off the IL. Yeah, 6 innings, 9 Ks on 67 pitches. I would say that's efficient as they come. So Mad Max over 7.5 is a play that I am on today. Let's talk about pitcher number 3, Framber Valdez. And man, we'll get into it when I want to talk about it. They're spot on this guy, guys. Let's just get, in my opinion. So Framber Valdez, 23.5 K percentage with an 8.1 walk. Number in the Black Wookiees, number 40. Last night he opened up in an 8+116. Now he's at 8+122 for 8 strikeouts. PrizePicks has him at a 7 flat. Don't hate you taking it there because you get a push on your parlay and it just drops it down 1. That man should have 7 today. Hits allowed that was not available. Projected pitches, and as the tag been taken off, the tag is off now, being his second start for Framber after throwing 84 pitches versus the White Sox. And my man Chris Gargaro was on his under. Last 8 game strikeout average, 7 strikeouts per game. Win percentage to the over under 8, 7.5. He's at 50%. Projected lineup, 7 righties, 2 lefties. And last year he struck out 10.5 K per 9 compared to a 7.4 on the road. And that dates back more than just last year for that, guys. He's just better at home. Left-handed, righties, pretty much the same. A 9 K per 9 versus an 8.7 from the right-handed side. Batting average against lefties hit a $192, righties 229. At home is a 240 and a road a 209. Coincidence his batting average goes up where his strikeouts go up? No, guys, you look for the punch outs when they're on second and third normally, guys. So let's hear what Chris got to say before I get into Mr. Valdez.
For me, it's pretty simple with Valdez because the one problem that he has had is getting behind early on hitters, racking up too many pitches, racking up walks. So for his career, only a 59.5% first strike percentage. That is in the bottom third, maybe, but for sure, bottom 40% of all starters. And so, but now when you get a Tigers team that so far this year, and again, this is in limited sample size, but you look back, it dates back to last year too. The Tigers' first strike percentage so far this season, 70.5%. That probably won't extrapolate over the entire season. If it did, I look back 4 or 5 years, I could not find anywhere close to a single season that was as high as that. Why that's important as well is when Valdez gets strike one on hitters, Ks them over 34% of the time. The Tigers, even going back to last year and so far this year, K at almost a 40% rate when they get down in counts. They are horrible at coming back from 0-1. So my big thing here, and I was encouraged because if I remember right, Valdez did not walk anybody in his first appearance, but What he's done, or what I've seen him do, is get behind on hitters and then kind of go back to what I told you about, is kind of look to maybe get the ball in play a little bit more. He doesn't even have to do that against the Tigers. Even if he gets behind, he can still catch up quite easily. Lean on the over, probably not going to be a play for me. I think at this point in the season, based on what we've seen from the Tigers so far, is that if there's a K prop for them, you're either betting the over or you're passing. I'm not sure that betting an under is an option at this point, especially not a lefty on the road.
The Tigers were so bad at striking out last year, and we talked about this at the beginning of the season. Their new hitting coach, bro, maybe he's just making them take strike one. Like, dude, you guys struck out so damn much last year. Watch a ball. Just watch one. Come on, bud. Like, maybe, but I'm something definitely worth looking into if they're going to keep taking or striking on the first one. That's woo-wee. Shout out to the chat, though. Shout out to MMA Locker Room for the comment of the day. I told my producer, man, we need some NWO in the background, bro. Me and Chris been tagging each other in gifts like this since day freaking uno go. So MMA comes up. Is that Eric Bischoff, bro? You look like Eric Bischoff in the black right now, bro, with the where it's at and going, bro. It almost looks like that, bro. So, oh, man, I feel bad right now. I didn't dress up. But we have 75 plus. 48 likes. We are 27 likes away from me dropping my whole MLB card. We hit 75. I'll drop my sides and totals. If not, we just stick to props. And yeah, let's get to it, though, because I was going to say something I probably shouldn't have. So let's talk about the next pitcher on the board. And before we do, we're going to hit a quick commercial, guys. So stick with us. Hit that bong load. Go give your kiss a wife. And let's get to the mother trucking money. I be jamming out to that in the background. I hope I'm not the only person who plays the air guitar.
Me too.
Okay, good. That's like almost like an old school AC/DC freaking song. So welcome back to the Balking Dead Season 2, where we're about to finish the last 3 pitchers on today's slate. But before we do, I know a lot of people can't sign up for PrizePicks. So I put out a tweet yesterday, and shout out to the few who already DM'd me, guys. So if you want my plays and can't sign up for PrizePicks, go on over to pubsportsradio.com, grab yourself a 2-pack of rubs, snap a picture of your purchase, DM me, and I will shoot you my bets for 2 weeks for supporting Pub Sports Radio. Let's get into pitcher number 4, Andrew Heaney, my old doyer. And if you don't know, Tuesdays are for pitching, guys. Like, Tuesdays have been really good days because it happens to be it's Ace Tuesday, and I wear my favorite pitching coach is jersey on that day. And shout out to Mr. Honeycutt. I love you, and I'm sorry that the Dodgers fired you. So let's talk about Andrew Heaney. 2022, he had a 35.5 K percentage and a 6.1 walk percentage. To put that in perspective, Carlos Rodon led the league last year in K percentage last season with a 33.5. If Andrew Heaney would have pitched enough innings to qualify, Rodon may not have been that guy, guys. So Andrew Heaney was that dude last year. Number in the black book, number 27. Opening line, there was no morning line, there was no late line. This was the latest line to come out because the Orioles were trying to figure out who was going to pitch for them. And it finally came out at 7+ at a -130 on the offshores, 6.5 on PrizePicks. Hits allowed was not available. Projected was not available on PrizePicks. I found it on the offshores, and I think we'll get into that how I'm going to attack him today. Projected pitches and has the tag been taken off. Heaney hasn't pitched since March 24th in a game and only threw 37 pitches, so I cannot take the tag off of him. No need to hit his last 8 averages because to me the tag ain't off. Projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties. Home road strikeouts last year, righty lefties. Home, he averaged a 13 K per 9, 14.6 on the road. Lefties, he struck out at a 12.5 K per 9. Well, righties, just 14. That's the GOAT status shit right there, guys. Yeah, the GOAT. Left-handeds hit 230, righties hit a 210. At home, 204, and on the road, 226. Mr. Spin Doctor, how you looking at the guy who spins it?
Yeah, for me, this is a spot where I'm either looking at an over, or I'm probably going to pass on this one. My only concern here is, well, one, how long is he going to go? And two is that, at least last year, I know it was in a little bit more limited action, but he only threw 3 pitches, only threw 4-seam, slider, and change. Did not throw his curve that he had thrown dating all the way back to, I think it was like 2017 or 2016 or something like that. So, I think that Heaney has the stuff to hit this number, but there's just too many questions for me about how long is he going to be out there for. So if I knew that I could guarantee a 90 pitch effort tonight, I wouldn't be opposed to taking an overshot on this one here. In absence of having anything concrete that tells me that, I'm probably just going to pass on this one.
I mean, I've got big plans for Heaney this year, but like I've talked about for the last few days on this show, I'm not betting guys on a pitch count. And we're not going to stop now. He hasn't thrown more than 37 pitches, so there's no way I can bet his over. But I can't get in on his under when you look at what this man does versus righties and lefties, guys. Home or away, he is a guy who likes to punch people in the face. I'll punch you in the face. Nobody knows where that comes from. So, and we like punchies on this show, guys. But the Rangers have had a plan with a lot of these guys coming out of spring training that didn't get a lot of work in, and they've stuck to that plan. They said DeGrom 75, they yanked him at 73. They're not playing this crap, guys, so they are going to baby these guys in the beginning of the season, and until I see them throw 90, I cannot get involved with his strikeouts.
Yeah, and for guys like that, I look at it very, very similarly in that it's really, really hard for me to ever trust an under prop to what I think is an average contact team in the Orioles. For a guy, you talked about his spin. I mean, 2,500 plus RPMs of spin on his slider for the last 3 or 4 years. That's up there. It's not quite like Trevor Bauer when he was using the sticky shit, but it's up there. It's not too far off, and he's doing it naturally. But to your point, is that I need to see it. I need to see outings where he's getting the pitches, he's getting the work, or I need some kind of confirmation from the team or a trusted team source that says, yeah, as long as he's not, coming up lame or anything like that, they're going to let him go tonight. I have not seen anything like that. I would not be surprised if, to your point, I would not be surprised if as soon the second he hits 80, it's immediate hook.
And this is why, I'm going to go through his stuff and look. I watched a lot of his games. I'm a Dodger fan. He didn't pitch more than 70, 75 too often for us.
Nope.
And he still racked up all them strikeouts. So, oh, God, man. Let this guy loose so I can bet him. The one thing that does pique my interest is under 4 hits at -115. It isn't a bet yet. Like I said, I want to go dig into his pitch count a little more for the Dodgers. But last year he was 7 wins, 5 losses with 4 pushes. And I think he's on a pitch count. So I've got to dig in, like I said, on the pitch count. And I might be hitting this dude's under 4 hits because I don't think he's going to be out there that long. And this dude's got that swing and miss type shit. So I want to get in on him. And if I think he's on a pitch count, then why not go on the hit? So, yeah. Pitch number 5.
Sorry. I want to say one thing because I saw Sonny put it in the comments. Says, I'm from Minnesota, correct? Do you like Maeda? If you're asking if I like him to have a bounce back season, I like him to bounce back a decent amount. If you're asking if I like him today, same exact thing as I just said for Heaney. I need to see it. The man had major surgery, and reports are that he was looking good in the spring, but I need to see it from him. And I also need to see what the Twins pitching staff is going to do with him. I can see him being babied for a month too.
They've babied all their pitchers so far. 5
They
innings
have.
yanked, 5 innings yanked, 5 innings yanked. They did it with Sonny Gray. They did it with Pablo Lopez. Those were the two I paid attention to.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they did with the others, but I know the report. I thought he did well in spring training, and then
Good.
I went and saw some reports of him, and he said he hasn't felt comfortable at all. So to what you were just saying, I've got to see it. You know, Japanese players are finicky. This guy needs to get back to feeling normal again, guys, like he had Tommy John. So yeah, let's get into pitcher number 5. Shane Bieber, 2022, 25% K percentage with a 4.6 walk percentage. Number 21 in the black book. Opening line last night was 5+ minus 144. Morning line was 6+ at plus 106. Now it is, at 7+. Oh, yeah, it was 6+ minus 144, 7+ at plus 106, and now at plus 112. PrizePicks has him at a straight 6. Hits allowed is 5 hits. Projected pitches, and this the tag been taken off. Tag is off. Bieber, with this being his second start of the year, he threw 85 pitches last time out. Last 8 games, strikeout averaged is 6 strikeouts per game. The win percentage to the 6.5 the last 10 games is 40%. If you grab the 5.5, he has a 60% win percentage to that over his last 10 games. Projected lineups: 5 righties, 4 lefties. Home road strikeouts: 8.6 per 9 at home compared to 9.2 on the road. We do get them on the road here. Lefties, 10K per 9 compared to an 8.1 versus righties. Batting average against: lefties hit 221, righties hit 239. Home 223, and roadie at a 235 batting average against. Chris, what's your take on maybe the Cy Young Award winner this year?
Yeah. So in his first game, and Sharpie, we talked about this, is that didn't even appear to be trying for strikeouts, was actually trying to get ground balls, was trying to get the ball put in play. Didn't really seem to care if he punched guys out. Will that continue tonight? Don't know. What I do know is that there is some spotty history of Bieber hitting this number early in the season, despite more than enough innings to do so. In fact, last year, only hit it twice before the middle of May, and against non-division opponents, which is what he's got tonight. He only hit it once until June. Now, that one time just happened to be at Oakland. So where I go with this one is, this is another one of those lines where I wanted the under when I first looked at it. For as shitty as they are and are going to be this year, Oakland actually does have some decent contact guys on their team. And even just watching a few of their first games, I have noticed in some guys a change in their approach at the plate to, especially with 2 strikes, to hit more to contact. So I wanted the under, but then it came out juiced at minus 145, 150, something like that. And I said, I don't want it that much. So I think if you can get if you can get under 6.5, somewhere close to minus 115, maybe minus 120 if you want a lesser stake, that gets me interested. But other than that, for me to want to take an over for Bieber, I need to see him going after those punch outs. I need to see him not, like I said, even when you get guys in 2 strikes, to just essentially pitching to contact to some of them and just making them put the ball in play for weak contact and grounders or pop flies, stuff like that. So early, the other reason why I don't, because Sharpie, this, I use this as a tiebreaker. What drew me off the under was projected that Doug Eddings will be behind the plate tonight. Reason why that's important: Doug Eddings, extreme pitchers umpire. Strikeouts actually go up an average of 3.5 to 5% for games he's behind the plate, and he has a 21.2% K percentage, which is almost a full percentage point above the 20.5 that MLB umpires average. The other thing is, average walk percentage tends to be around 8% for umpires. His is 7.4 4%. You might think that's a nominal difference. Think about how many pitches these guys umpire. Think about how many times that these guys call guys out, how many batters, etc. That's a lot over the course of a season. So if I can get Bieber at a lower price, the under will interest me. As of right now, I'm not paying minus 150 juice for the A's. I'm just not doing it.
Maybe might keep you off the under, might not. But let's talk about Bieber. It's Bieber time, guys. So how the fuck do we get in on Captain Bieber? That's my thing, guys. Like 5.5. I gotta see a lineup, period, before I bet this guy's strikeout prop. So I look for lefties. Duh, obviously strikes out freaking 2 more lefties per 9 than righties. But if they don't stack it with lefties, I'm going to be looking at his under 1.5 earned runs at some plus money. I wanted 18 outs. I thought that was going to be the easiest bet of the day. And they jerked me, guys. They wouldn't put it on the offshore. So I thought, okay. Then I seen it on PrizePicks at 19.5. And I just died laughing. Like, these cucks today were so spot on with these pitching outs on Valdez and on Bieber that they could just suck it. I'm not going to force a bet when that's what I was looking for. I'm not the guy who just forces it. You got to let it go sometimes. So 19.5 outs is saying he's going 7 innings. Okay. The books have him going 7 innings. Okay. Let's talk leave. That's just that. So know this man don't give a fuck about striking people out. Like my man was just talking about. He's content with the double play ground ball all day. He's content with a ground ball out. Because why? Because good pitchers go long to help their teams. That's what good pitchers do. He's a pitcher, not a hurler. Pitchers go deep. Hurlers go 5 innings and rack them strikeouts up. Big difference right here. So let's get into it, though. So for me, like I said, it's lineups or not. But then I couldn't go under, guys, because at the end of the day, I just seen what Ohtani's done to this team 3 times in a row. And a lot of people think, oh, Ohtani, he throws the split thing. No, Ohtani's strikeout pitch has been the slider since the second half of last season, guys. Mm-hmm. And what does Bieber throw? A fucking slider. So if there's a time that he can go out there and rack up them 7 strikeouts, it is versus a lineup like this. Because last year, that time that he did face the A's, they did have 5 righties and 4 lefties in that lineup, and he still put up 7 strikeouts in 7 innings. So it would be hard for me to take an under on a guy going 7 innings versus a team who showed that they're having issues with the sliders. So I'm not going to bet his strikeout prop over. So, I mean, you like my buddy say, you got money on it? Then shut the fuck up. All right? Then I'm just telling you my opinion, man. But, all right. Sometimes your buddies are a little mean, but that's the type of people I hang out with. So, at the end of the day, it's over or not for me. And I'm probably just going to stay off and watch this guy go 7+ innings.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah. I like an innings or an outs prop a lot more, like you said. What I would be willing to do is, even though like I see it on DK right now, is the 6.5 is at plus money, while the under 6.5 is heavily juiced. That makes a ton of sense. That's lined correctly. If I can get a 5.5 at the juice at the under 6.5 is right now, that is juice I'd be willing to pay, because I do think that I see many scenarios where he gets 6. I'm iffy if he gets 7. So if I can get a 5.5,
bro, he can go 9 fucking innings and then get you. I was on him last year. Yeah. I needed all 9 innings.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember.
I got Sandy Alcantara last year. I needed 5 and he went 9 innings and got 4. Like, oh God, dude. But at the end, like I just was saying, they're pitchers, guys. They want to go deep. You've got to understand that when you're betting guys strikeout props. Like, they understand, fuck a strikeout. Like, I need to go 7 innings for my team to win a W, bro. At the end of the day, you want that W next to your name.
So a perfect example of that, you talk about pitchers compared to hurlers, is if anybody watched the Astros-Tigers game last night, Hunter Brown was a hurler. And when he got in trouble right before he got yanked, he struck out the first 2 batters in the inning. He ultimately got pulled in, but then you saw it. Like, I saw him, he turned around and said something to himself about like, come on, or come the fuck on, or let's fucking go. And I'm like, I guarantee you he is going to struggle now, because he has it in his mind, the only way I can get this guy out and get out of this inning is by striking him out. And what did he do? If you watch that inning, he overthrew every pitch. He tried to throw 1,000 miles an hour. He tried to just snap impossible breaking balls over the plate. And kudos to the Tigers. They did not bite on it. And they were clearly getting instruction from the dugout after like the second batter was like, don't swing, let this guy go, because this guy will throw his arm out and we will get to the bullpen. And that's exactly what happened. He walked to Baez, got that little bloop hit. And then you could tell mentally he was just shot. That's a hurler. And he's a young guy, so you'd expect that. You get a guy like Shane Bieber, and what Shane Bieber would say is, I don't give a shit how I get this guy out. I need one more out to get out of this inning. So I'm going to make this guy put it in play and trust my defense. That's the difference between a pitcher and a hurler.
Well, we've got 9 minutes to finish the last guy, so we're on pace, guys. Let's talk about Luis Castillo. 2022, he had a 27.2 K percentage and a 7.3 walk percentage. Number in the black book, 39. Opening line, 8+ at +110. Closing line is 8+ at +106. PrizePicks has him at a 7 straight, where hits allowed is at 4.5. Projected pitches, tag been taken off. Of course, the tag is off. This is his second start. He only did throw 74 pitches last time out in 6 innings of dominant ball, but he still should be good for 90+ today. Last 8 games, strikeout average 6.8. Win percentage to the under over 7.5. Last 10 games is 40%. 6 righties, 3 lefties is the projected Angels lineup. Home run strikeout average last year, 10.7 K per 9 at home. Road an 8.3. Lefties, 9.6 K per 9, where he struck out righties at a smooth 10.4. Batting average against last year, 206. Lefties hit, righties hit a whopping 217. At home, when most of his home games were in Cincinnati last year, with a 191 batting average. Now he's in one of the best ballparks in baseball. And on the road, he had a 230. Let's get to your breakdown before I get to mine.
Yep. So funny enough, and again, I will keep saying this until we're like a month in or maybe more, is limited sample size. But you know who has one of, if not the lowest first strike percentages for offense in all of baseball? It is the fucking Angels. And that is just incredible. Because when you think about last year, they were one of the worst teams. They would go down in counts very, very quickly. They wouldn't be able to recover. This year is a different story. I actually cashed an under prop on the Angels earlier this season. I'm like, I can just retire from doing this right now, because I cashed a road K prop on an under for the Angels. That doesn't happen very often. So where I go with this is, over his career, when Castillo has struggled, it's the same story as Framber Valdez. When he doesn't get strike one, striking out guys less than 23% of the time. And the Angels this year, when they go 1-0 in counts, they are also striking out less than 23% of the time. So, what helps Castillo for the over, for an over perspective for this one, is he does have a projected pitcher's umpire, Brian Onora. Strikeout percentage slightly over average, and Ks typically go up by 2 to 3% in games that he's behind the plate. My issue here, though, is will Castillo be able to get strike one consistently on these hitters? It was shaky. It was shaky earlier this season. There were some shaky times in spring training, and the Angels have done a phenomenal job. They did a great job addressing a few areas of need for them in the offseason. Number one, for sure, was not striking out so fucking much. When you add guys like Gio Urshela, when you add guys like that, high contact guys that can have quality plate appearances, and veteran guys that can take things back to your younger guys and report, hey, I see that, hey, if you get down 1-2, he's going to throw the slider low and in, blah, blah, blah. Those types of things are what they have now that they didn't have. So I'm going to wait for a lineup on this one, but this could be an under spot for me very, very easily. I don't know if I like the over. Like I said, we'll see what happens when the lineup comes out, but the umpire thing, it's not enough to make me get off of it. So if the lineup matches up how I'm thinking that it will, this could be an under spot for me very easily.
Man, like I would tell Noli, man, like there's some games, and I know you bet unders, and I'm just like, man, I could never bet these guys under. It's not that I'm on their over. I just fuck. I hate games where they don't strike people out. I'm that guy who chucks shit when it's 0-2 and they don't get a strikeout, and I'm on the phone with Noli and he laughs at me like, bro, he just did his job. It's like, stop it.
Yep.
Stop it. His job is to sit people down. Sit them down.
And I'm watching the same game and I'm like, please put the ball in play. Please put the ball in play. Please put the ball in play. And I'm like, weak grounder to third. Yeah, wait. And actually, when I'm watching those games, it's actually funny because then a guy gets like a 2-out single and I'm cursing him because I'm like, motherfucker, pop out, because then you pop out and we're out of the inning and the pitcher's gone. Like, you get a little 2-out bloop single. Now we got a whole other batter we got to worry about.
The prize piece the Mariners got last year, and they dropped a bank on him in the offseason. He is one of the premier pitchers in all of baseball, and he gets the Angels the first time. I mean, he gets the Angels. Last year, he faced them one time. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs with 9 punchies, and when I look at their numbers in the book, the Angels were actually playing good ball. They were striking out at a 24% clip at the time, but their power numbers were through the roof, way better than league average, like elite power numbers at the time. And that's just been the Angels for me. You know, they're one of those teams that they are either all or nothing, you know, and they were nothing for me when I bet them with Ohtani. And then the next day they're all. So it's like that's the Angels. They're either going to blast you or they're not. So that they're hit and miss, hot and cold for me. Last week we talked about Castillo being an over spot, and he did what he did, and that was versus a Cleveland team who puts the ball in play better than anybody else in the league over the last year. So he went out there and did what Castillo does, and that's get 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. Like, that's like almost Mando for that guy. So now he gets a team where the swing and miss, like he said, it just isn't there this year where it has been in the past. So I have no bet personally. I can't bet guys like Castillo under because I don't have the balls. Sometimes, though, you need to have big brass balls, though, like my guy next to me, because you're not going to make money just betting overs every time. I'd be realist with you. It's probably like at that 62% to the under, if not even better, if you just blindly bet every damn prop. But there's juice involved, and you can't do that. So, yeah. Let's get to it, guys. Shout out to you all for coming in here. I'm going to run it through. 99 likes. 99 live, I mean. Told y'all I'd bust out the card that I'm on today once we hit the 75 like button, and we did. So only bet in I got besides Max Scherzer over 7.5 is Cubs first 5 money line -130. I'm big on Wisniewski, as a lot of you guys out there, and yeah, I'm definitely going to back him today. His strikeout prop was -132 to -144, depending on which, where, and why you got in on it. And I'm just not willing to pay that type of juice for a guy like that. I'm not saying he doesn't get it. I do think he goes out and hits it, but thinking don't pay the bills. I'd rather just take the first 5 and take the Cubs bats along with it and fading Sessa at home. So any last words for this fine young chap, my guy, and where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can find me at SpinDoc Sports on Twitter. I will have a free play for at some point tonight. Haven't decided on which one it's going to be yet, but it is typically an under. And, you know, there is a candidate for one that I just talked about, so you might have to stay up deep into the night, but just be on the lookout for that. And other than that, yeah. It's been fun coming on. Let's do it, man.
Don't be scared to tail his under. The guy wins at a good enough winning percentage that you would want to tail it. And last night you might have puked when he gave you Charlie Morton. And guess what? He went out there and got 1 strikeout. Guys.
1 strikeout and was never hitting ever. And even though I told my VIP too, I told everybody to put a unit on it, I may or may not have went 3 units on it myself. So do as I say, not as I do.
Yes. I mean, when I spoke to you, you were like, bro, career 10 games, not happening.
Never hit it.
I'm like, damn, bro. And whether you tail him or not, it's always like, if you're leaning the other way, just maybe let your bet go. So guys, sometimes at the end of the day, not not losing money is winning money, and that's what I like to preach, guys. Don't bet just to bet. That's like not what we're here for, guys. We are here to take money out. We are here to fuck the bookies in the eye holes. So until tomorrow, I'm Sharpie's Bets. He's Spin Doctor Sports, and we on Pub Sports Radio.